Greetings fandom, my name is Andre, and for this video, I am going to mention six terms that some people where I am from really misuse. Like, when it comes to like misuse, not like the sort of very, not so often, like they misuse these terms very often. I do not know why, but like may it be because of our culture, or just the ways of living, just because we get to say those shorter because it's part of our jargon, because it's part of our tongue. Really, it's really stuck to our tongues now whenever we say it. But what's wrong is still wrong, and I will address that in this video. 6 words. 6 words. Now, to all of those people at some point in their lives have really thought of trying to duplicate their documents or their special papers or everything that they have. Like maybe at some point they needed 2 copies of it, or I don't know, insert number. All right, so I'm very sure that there's some of you guys who refer to that as Xerox, like the term used to do the copying. Like, oh, can you please Xerox these documents? Can you please Xerox this one paper that I have? I really need it for my assignment. I just like to let you know that as much often as you people say it, that term is wrong. The correct term here is photocopy. Alright? I just like to let you know that Xerox, it's pronounced Xerox, is a brand. Okay? It's a very nice brand of printers, photocopy machines, and fax machines as well, which I don't even see them producing that much. But yes, it is a brand. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, but it's a brand of printers that are really nice. I plan to get one also this Christmas along with my Nintendo Switch, and I hope it will do me well in all of my future works, and not just for me, but for my classmates as well. If they want to get a photocopy, not Xerox, photocopy, if they want to get a photocopy of something, I will just do it for them. And of course, I will charge them for that. This is how I make money in these trying times, other than just using Pi Network. Okay. I mean, I do want to be an ambassador really quick, but I don't see people taking my invite. So if there are any of you guys that see my posts that are trying to take people inside my security circle, please do so. Alright? You will earn with me. Do not worry about that. But yeah, Xerox photocopy. Alright? Xerox is a brand. The actual thing of duplicating your papers, that's photocopy. Alright? If it's really known for our culture, alright, it's the fact that many of us love food. We love to eat. And it's very obvious from the way I look, alright? And there have been some people who choose to order from a restaurant, and they prefer to have that food brought to their homes, or like outside of that place where they sell the food. So the term that they prefer to use here is take out. What? That is not the term that should be used here. It should be either to go or take away. And here's the thing, I actually try to test these waiters or these cashiers that are over there at those restaurants. So and then what, after I order and after I pay them, they either say stuff like, "Hey, is this dine in or take out?" I say, "To go." Yes, not take out, to go. And then I try to check if they understand what I meant. And if they do, that's good. But like there are some that don't. I was like, they go like, to go? What is that, sir? To go? And then I just give them time to think of what I meant. And they somehow do. Yes, they do. And it's nice to know that I'm slowly trying to break these norms, because what's wrong is still wrong. All right, it's not takeout, it's to go. Now, there are many settings where people are instructed to form a line in order to make sure that they eventually get their turns. All right, like may it be in many events, just like what I mentioned just now, restaurants where people line up, like they form this line to make sure that they eventually get their turn to get served. May it be dine-in or to go. All right, so and there are many of those instructions that are being seen over there in those many places that say fall in line. All right, I guess that term fall in line is accepted in those informal settings, like just lining up or just trying to get a movie ticket, trying to go to a theater and just line up to get a movie ticket. I think the term fall in line is accepted, but like literally speaking or literally defining the term, what you're doing is like you're laying down on that line along with the many people who are in it. So what are you trying to do here? Like, are you trying to like make the longest line game that the children used to play? But instead of other things, instead of clothes, they like pile themselves, like their own bodies in, like they're just laying down, they're like laid back on that line, just like that. No, that is literally how you fall in line. You like lay down, and all the other people in that line is like laying down as well, which I think is fucking ridiculous in of itself. The proper term here is stand in line or line up, like the one that I said earlier. You line up or form your line. All right, but I'm going to say it again. I guess fall in line is acceptable in those kinds of settings. But when it comes to those settings wherein you line up for a general assembly, like a public assembly, a school assembly, I think the term here is form your line. This also goes for military, by the way, like military cadets or trainees who are trying to like line themselves up to do their usual drills, their usual activities. I think the term that they use here is form your line because it's more of a formal setting. All right. But yeah, fall in line still accepted, but literally speaking, that is ridiculous. All right. Thank you. All right. For this next example that I have, this also refers to like those patents, as in like those names and words that you have to use properly in order to not get legally dealt with. All right. So the term that I am going to refer here is the Rubik's Cube. And by the way, it is spelled RUBIK''S, not RUBIX and then cube. No. There are some people who have had false memories of it being spelled RUBIX, but you know, that's understandable. Mandela effect has fucked up so many people in their own ways. But yeah, my point here is like Rubik's Cube and Puzzle Cube. Alright? I have one right over here, okay? This is a Rubik's Cube, and how I can confidently say this is a Rubik's Cube is that you need to look over here on the white side of the cube. It has to be finished, by the way. It has to be completely solved for it to be easily determined that it's a white side. You can see here on the white side Okay, it's a little bit faded, but I guess you can see that over there. It has the Rubik's logo along with the link that says Rubik's.com. Okay, if it has that Rubik, if it's not something of another brand, it is not. It's literally just a 3x3 puzzle cube that you can just use to solve. Okay, this literally goes to, it's same case with people saying Xerox instead of photocopy. All right, like Xerox photocopy. Xerox is a brand. Photocopy machine is the actual machine. All right. I think this also applies here, and I'm not going to mention this example in any of the 6, but this applies in the same situation. Nintendo. All right, Nintendo and how they apply and these other consoles that were considered video game rivals, console rivals that have taken place in the 1980s and 1990s, and there were those casual people who did not know the difference between a Nintendo and a non-Nintendo console. So they could just look at a Sega Genesis and say, hey, that's a Nintendo they got over there. Which is wrong. And so, because of that, during the 1990s, Nintendo themselves had to make an official statement saying that the people have to use their words, have to use the Nintendo word very correctly, as to not get legally dealt with, as to the one that I mentioned earlier. This also applies, this also has the same situation, alright? This one, okay, if it has that logo and that link, Rubik's.com, you can say that this is a Rubik's Cube. If it doesn't have that, it is not. Like, sure, it is a 3x3 puzzle cube that you can solve with any method you like, but it is no chance a Rubik's Cube. Moving on. Okay, I don't think I need to mention this one anymore, but like, there's this another one. There's this another example that involves very common grammatical errors. I didn't need to mention this one, but I just decided to do so because I needed to make sure that the six things slot needed to be filled out, and so I did. So common grammatical errors like your and your, your and you apostrophe re. If you're not a native English speaker, I guess making those mistakes is very much acceptable. But my point of making this video is what's wrong is still wrong. And that's my point of doing this whole thing. Alright? And so, there are those other examples, like there, THEY apostrophe RE, and there, THEIR. That's another thing. Yeah. Like, you get the context here, right? I'm not going to like explain any further because you guys already know what's up in this one. So, yeah, I'll end this here. And lastly, using the wrong pronouns. Okay, because like, if there are some of you guys who speak Filipino, you would know that there's only one pronoun to use here. And so if they try to like translate that into another language, say English or Esperanto, for example, like they would try they would tend to mix those terms up. Like for example, I like Michael Bublé. Her music is very good. Well, I'm not one to either judge or tolerate the LGBTQ community over here, but like, one thing I gotta make sure is that I gotta respect them, and one way to respect them is by using the right pronouns. for them. All right? Like, I know society has changed a lot throughout the past decades, and you gotta be very careful of the pronouns that you gotta use, because like this might trigger them, or they might feel insulted, you know. Because like there are some people who have really spoken up and have really become politically correct. So you just need to make sure you got the right pronouns for them. May it be he, she, they, or it. Yes, I said it, but you know, that's a joke. That's a joke. Just say it's really just he, she, or they. You know, yeah. I'm not. I'm just going to like limit it to those three for now. Yes. So that is it. That is it, folks. 6 terms that are commonly misused by people where I'm from. I'll end this here.